Doug on board. Good morning, Doug. How are you?
Good morning, Al. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks so much for asking. We're trying to do a little something here and streaming live right now to Facebook and YouTube, and we're trying to get you know something to do so people can find you,
Good. Yeah.
and they can go to successfulseniorsusa.com if they want to check out the website.
Yeah, they can. They can call me toll free, or they can also email me at dougfair takes something like this for all of us to just have that additional eye-opening, hey, I need to get back into, supporting all the thoughts and prayers that I should for all those people serving. I mean, the paramedics and the firemen, and then, when he went to, he was a reservist, so obviously he went to Afghanistan and all of those things. And so, yeah, it's just really, really a tough thing. So
Absolutely.
after the break, Al, I thought, I have one more story to share, and then I just wanted to talk about something new that's going to be happening with Successful Seniors at the end of the show. And so is that all right?
It's
You
fine,
wanna
man. It's
take
fine.
a little break, and then
Yeah, let's do a little break right now. That
Okay.
sounds good.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Let me just get us squared away over here. All right, you're listening to Talk One Radio, Successful Seniors show with Doug Fair. We'll be right back after these messages.
No time for fitness? Unsure of what to do when you walk into the gym? The eFit Club uses eGym and Matrix technology combined with personal training to easily guide you through your workout. It's the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to improve your health. The eFit Club is suitable for all adults, and our members are reporting amazing results. The eFit Club is located in Bluffton at the Belfair Town Village Shopping Center. Mention Alan or Roman of Talk One Radio, and you'll receive a special discounted membership. It's your time to get fit. Change your fitness, change your life.
Are you tired of market losses and fees associated with the stock market? Would you like to be able to watch your money grow without the risk of any losses? Successful Seniors can help you secure your retirement income. There are no monopolies on good ideas, and in today's financial environment, it is important to get a second opinion and find out what prudent and informed investors are doing with their money. Call toll-free 833-814-0115 or email Doug at dougfair1@msn.com for a no-cost appointment.
Looking for a barbershop with a traditional feel? Well, look no further. Joe's Classic Cuts Barbershop is the Low Country's place to receive a top quality haircut or straight razor shave. You'll enjoy a family environment where everyone is welcomed and the refreshments are on the house. Joe's is located at 23 Johnston Way in Bluffton and open 7 days a week. For old school service and quality, makes Joe's Classic Cuts Barbershop your go-to place for the finest haircut and shave in the Low Country. Call 843-757-5637 or visit www.joesclassiccuts.com today for your next appointment.
Hello, everybody. Jimmy here at Underground Burritos, your restaurant-inspired, taste-delivered, ready-to-heat meat burrito company. Also got them great, hot and ready. Hey, we moved locations this year over on May River Road, right here in the heart of Old Town Bluffton. Come give us a shout. Come pick up some great burritos. And hey, guys, look, we're teaming up with Talk One Radio to bring you a great new radio show called Restaurant Talk. Look forward to hearing from you. Stop by. Have a great day.
This ain't no podcast. We're live, baby. Talk1radio.com. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. Successful Seniors is back. Thanks for taking a little pause for us. And we'll finish out this hour here, 9:30 in the morning. We go till 10. And Doug is with us every other Saturday. So don't be shy. Give us a call at 1-843-800-1492 if you have a question about your retirement, Social Security, long-term care. You got the expert right here, sitting right across the studio from me.
Well, I try, Al.
You do a good job.
Every day.
Yeah,
Every day I try. Yeah, it's been awesome. I've been able to do a lot of work with Bruce Wood here at Hilton Head Capital Partners, and we're really doing a lot of neat things to help people. And of course, I handle all of the insurance and kind of a fixed income side of the firm, but I'm just super busy with just about every other aspect of I had a couple calls this week about, what to do. I'm turning 65. What do I do?
Oh boy.
With some people that are friends of friends. And so, it's a very crucial time, this thing called retirement, but it's important to, be able to put together this jigsaw puzzle that's based upon, your goals and not the goals of,
Yeah, right.
of the financial advisor. But the other thing is, we talked a little bit about my grandma's letter. Yeah, she lived to be 93, and she still was very, very proud to be an American. My grandpa served in the Navy. He was a wrestler in the Navy.
Wow.
Yeah, so I never really messed with him. And then, I just want to thank my friend for sharing his story. But the third story I have is pretty phenomenal too, and I just wanted to give a little background to it. This is a small world, when you hear that phrase, small world.
Sure.
So one of the insurance companies that I use, I've been, producing for them for, probably 15 to 20 years. But as you start working with insurance companies, some of them have conferences, and they usually invite certain producers to come in and give us our opinion, because we're the ones on the street. So I can remember many, many years ago sitting down at breakfast, and I had seen pictures of the president of the company, so I knew what he looked like, but
Mhm.
I had never really totally met him. And so it was me, him, and Claudine. And of course, I don't eat a lot of breakfast, but when I do, I eat a lot of breakfast.
In a way.
So at these events, there's typically a breakfast. When I do, I eat a lot of breakfast.
In a way. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, no
about
worries.
that.
And so I had gotten up to do something, and I think maybe get a little bit more, especially eggs, right?
Right.
When I come back, Claudine and him are talking, and his roommate in college at North Dakota State University was my wife's child's best friend's brother, which was absolutely amazing. I mean, we're sitting there, and
Okay.
we're here at we're at Dana Point, California, and we're talking about two people from North Dakota,
Wow.
and his roommate lived right across the street from my wife growing up. I'm his roommate, yeah, and his brother was my wife's best friend. So that was amazing. So obviously we really, really hit it off.
Sure.
But I didn't know anything about what was going to happen next. And so we went into the conference, and I had realized that this company that I work for had changed their logos and really changed a lot of things. And now it's the American Eagle. People wear red on Fridays.
Wow.
Sometimes all 400 of them. Are we doing okay on everything?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And all 400 of them wear red on Fridays to honor soldiers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember
So-
those over that are deployed.
Yeah. So, Al, they had another meeting, but this meeting wasn't at a hotel. It was at the home office. And I decided that I wanted to go because, I had taken a lot of my clients' money and of course my own money too. It's where I have the majority of my retirement savings. And I decided to go check out the home office.
Mm.
And what happened is we were all situated in a hotel across the street. And then we were all picked up, and there was about 40 of us. And we were picked up, and we were taken to a location for breakfast on a bus. And when we came back on the bus, we pulled up in front of the office, and off to the side was a small, little inconspicuous minivan. And it looked like a 2001. It was older. I'm kind of giving away the story there, right? But anyway, I didn't think anything of it. And so when I said I was at the hotel in California, he told the story for the second time that I had heard it, because this is the first time that I had heard it. And so think about this little minivan sitting in the front of this big, beautiful building. And then this is the story that he shared. he said, and I'm kind of paraphrasing a little bit because I didn't ask Ron to write me something. I mean, because of the fact that I've heard the story so many times.
Sure.
But these are kind of the pertinent parts. Everyone remembers where they were on 9/11. American Equity, which is the name of the company, they were in New York City on 9/11. Top Advisors Conference. It was just like the ones I was telling you that we'd have all the time. Ron, who's the president of our company, it was his first time in New York City. He grew up in North Dakota, went to North Dakota State,
Wow.
and he's from a very, very small town in North Dakota. My wife is from Hebron, North Dakota.
Well, where's it?
Hebron is about 38 miles east of Dickinson, if you've ever, and then it's also between Bismarck. No, she's not from Fargo. Fargo, the movie, yeah, right. But anyway,
You betcha.
Yeah, a small group decided to get out of the hotel that day because the meetings were going to, sometimes we do excursions and we just do some team building just like everyone does.
Sure.
So a small group went via subway to Battery Park to see the Statue of Liberty. And they went via the subway. They came out of the subway and there was smoke and debris from the first airplane that hit the North Tower.
Wow.
They heard a second plane before they saw it in person disappear into the side of the building. And what's amazing about 9/11 that I didn't know, my wife had to tell me this, but the first plane that went into the North Tower was situated a little bit higher, but the second plane came to the middle of the South Tower, and it was the first one to go down.
Yeah.
The second plane hit was the first one to go down. I had never known that. So everyone ran, and he got separated.
Oh,
True story. He decided that the only way back is he thought that everyone is probably going to rendezvous back to the hotel. So he took the subway. He found out later that, and they tell this story on every anniversary. It's told in the local newspaper in Des Moines, Iowa. But he found out later that based on the timing of everything, one of the towers collapsed in the tunnel, and he was the last train to ever pass under the towers.
wow.
So they were on their way to see the Statue of Liberty as a group. They were going to get on a boat. The second plane hit. It was turmoil. They got separated. And then he decided to just jump down a subway that took him all the way back up. And he was the last train before it collapsed.
Wow.
Everyone made it back to the hotel, but their next task was figuring out how to get the group back to their homes across the country because you couldn't fly or rent a vehicle for weeks. You knew that, right?
Yeah.
So Mr. Noble, who is who founded our company, he bought 3 minivans, Al, and he had 3 people in the administrators. He had 3 people drive every one of his producers home to their front doorstep in those 3 minivans.
Wow.
So he called the local minivan dealership, and with the stroke of a pen bought 3 minivans, and he drove everyone back from everywhere, from the East Coast all the way down the coast, all the way to California.
Wow.
He sold 2 of the minivans, but he kept one for a long time because it was part of our history, and he just couldn't part with it. So Mr. Noble had this minivan, and I just remember a story from some other person that, there were times when, because it sat out in the sun, they had to change the tires on it.
Yeah.
But he kept that minivan for many, many years. In fact, I was able to see it. The next step was we were only a $4 billion company at the time. He took $1 billion because he thought at that time there was going to be a run on the bank. So he ordered 1 billion of our 4 billion in 2001. to be used for just liquidity because he thought there were going to be a lot of people that needed money. And I thought that was a really, really great thing. And of course, after that, he changed the logo. It is one of my flagship companies that I work with. But one of the proudest moments I've had as an advisor is, we were there, Al, on a Wednesday and a Thursday, and then Friday we were going to show up to the conference room and have one last little meeting, and then everyone was heading to the airport.
Sure.
So the day that we got out of the bus that day, just in appreciation of our business, all 400 employees lined up arm to arm in red.
Wow.
And completely lined up all the way through the door, all the way up the stairs to the second floor conference room. And they were all clapping and just not only thanking us for our business, but just showing us the pride that they take in in being American. So,
Nice.
yeah, that's absolutely amazing just to be able to say that, you were the last subway before it crumbled, because,
Oof.
obviously there's nothing from there. So
Yeah.
pretty crazy stuff.
You think, Doug, do you think we're safer now than we were then?
I thought that, I did think that for many, many, many years. And then it just seems like we've kind of just rested on our laurels that, nothing else has happened. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And again, I don't know all the behind the scenes things that are happening, but I just think that this anniversary of 9/11 should be a wake-up call every year,
Right.
for all of us to not only love more in our own cities, but and also to just make sure that we support our safety, and we support the fact that this really hasn't happened in a long, long time. What is your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are these. I don't think we're as safe as we were anymore with this administration. The southern border is wide open, and it's not just for the Latinos, but they've got people from the Middle East coming across, Chinese coming in. There's a lot of bad actors out there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot,
and they know how to get in now.
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, it's not hard to get in. It's very easy right now. I mean, they're coming in 1,500 a day that are gotaways.
Yeah. And what amazes me is, when I go on a trip and I come back, I mean, it's amazing just to get through customs.
Yeah,
these
you're
days. You know what I mean?
being shook down
hard. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, the Biden administration, they just stopped flying these Afghan refugees en masse into our country because of a measles outbreak. But these people have not been vetted for their, where they are, with their politics. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Whether they're radical Muslims or whether they're terrorists, whether they're murderers. They let a murderer back in, a rapist that was deported and allowed to come back in on one of these C-17s. So now he's back in our country, a convicted rapist that got deported, got back on the airplane in Kabul and came back to the United States. I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, we could talk politics all day, but what we're talking about today is exactly what you're saying, Al, is safety. And
Right.
my understanding was with this Afghanistan thing was they were going to be going to like a country like Kosovo or somewhere where they were going to be vetted. I mean, that has to be done. Isn't that
They're not doing that?
Isn't that going to defeat the whole purpose of why 9/11 changed the way you can get into our country,
Right. Well,
and how 9/11 has changed the way we even travel?
Yeah. Well, I think the prize has changed now. The Democrats have seen that this is one way to ensure themselves continued power is by importing votes, whether they be from Afghanistan or if they're from Latin America, et cetera. And now, there's bad actors that are taking advantage of that. The gangs, the drugs, they just, thank God, they just stopped a whole bunch of heroin and fentanyl at the border. I mean, they caught that by chance. By chance. It wasn't like there was a big dragnet out. These people at the border are doing the very best they can. And they're spread out, spread thin, working 14-hour days out in the desert, riding in the truck. You come against, 30 people, you're by yourself at night. How about that? What do you think you're going to do? How effective are you going to be as a stopgap? Nothing. I mean,
Well, the other thing
we're in danger.
Yeah. The other thing that bothers me a little bit too is on 9/11, there wasn't the social media, internet, all the different things that people could do
Right.
to communicate and build things, good, bad, or evil, right?
Right.
And so, when you think about the fact that there are people coming into our country these days, and they have this technology called the internet to communicate,
Sure.
to build things, that's about our safety.
Yeah.
And all these people that are out there that might just say, oh, this is a financial show and you're talking about politics. I'm talking about safety. I'm talking about the fact that, I couldn't imagine if anybody in my family was, like, I'll just bring up the Colorado State Fair because it was just happening in Colorado. But if my mom and brother were, at the Colorado State Fair and there was some form of not only a terrorist attack, but you talk about the gang situation, and they were killed or harmed. I mean, that would be horrible.
Right.
I mean, you talk about having that little part in your brain that it sticks with you forever.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're talking about. We're talking about safety and, trying to separate the two, like politics and the overall part about just safety is important. But that's what bothers me the most is, Al, you and I, we can Google anything today.
Yeah.
You can kind of figure out how to do things. Back in how they pulled that off with all those big airplanes.
Right.
And how they did that and how they
coordinated it.
and how they did the training. And I never thought that you could, and I'm not a pilot, but I never thought that those planes could sustain, the certain ways that they were, I know they can do a lot of different things, but that was an absolute miracle feat for that to happen, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The way that it hit those towers.
Right.
And the way that, there wasn't, we just weren't on guard. And now everyone needs to take notice that everyone coming into the country that's not vetted. I mean, the other day I was just flying somewhere a few days ago, and for some reason the TSA pre-check wasn't open. So I went through the line, even though I had TSA pre-check. And Al, I had a little thing of shave cream, and it had 3 ounces. It was like 2.7 ounces instead of 2.
Right.
And guess what? They took it.
Yeah.
Which they're doing their job.
Sure.
But it's okay for thousands of people to come in to our country that we don't know anything about. But here I'm flying across the country and they take my shave cream.
Yeah.
I mean,
as goofy as that is, just think of all these people are coming in. Even the ones that are being checked in with who knows what kind of credentials, whether it's a made up, birth certificate or something that they use in their country in Nicaragua or Honduras. I mean, as far as proof of citizenship, you don't know what they use. So they're being checked in, but they're being allowed to and transported to different parts of our country. If they don't want the COVID shot, they don't get it. It's not a mandatory thing for them. But we have a president that just stood up and said, I'm going to control people, and here's how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go after governors that don't comply with our mandate. That's tyranny. That's not governing. That's not in our best interest. I mean, there's 2 sides of or 10 sides of science. Everyone can, that's why we have debate.
Mhm.
I mean, for crying out loud. But I know this is a financial show, but it's about the future of your finances. We are on a very rickety bridge right now in this country, as far as I'm concerned, where capitalism is being undercut at the highest level. Now, consider your retirement. Consider this thing we call Social Security that many, many people, as you well know,
Mhm.
count on to live, to survive.
Exactly. And, Al, the decisions that you make in retirement, I mean, you've got to look at the economy.
Right.
I mean, even though my clients don't lose money when the market goes down, they don't make any, but they don't lose any. We still invest in these things called indexes.
Sure.
So we're investing in the S&P 500, which is the 500 largest companies in America today. We also invest in the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones is 30, and every company that's in the Dow Jones is in the S&P 500. But typically the Dow Jones is 30 of the biggest blue chip companies in America today. But you have to make your financial decisions based upon not only what's happening with the economy, but what's happening with the market, what's happening. Because remember, the stock market runs on 3 things. It runs on earnings, interest rates, and psychology. Now, if you break that down, earnings, corporate earnings, the reason why the market is setting records is because guess what? Everyone is on their phone. So the phone stock's going up.
Sure.
Everybody's Googling things. Everybody's at home because they're afraid to go anywhere. So they're buying things on Amazon.
Yeah.
And so there's also, they're bored.
Right.
So they're on Facebook. If you look at all of those stocks that I had just mentioned, those are huge, massively large companies that are keeping the market going. But when you have a financial advisor that understands the whole picture, you might change some things. Because people that, come to the island, for example, and they haven't talked to their financial advisor in years because they've moved from Pittsburgh down to Hilton Head.
Yeah.
They should call me or email me and meet me for coffee or come by the office and talk to me a little bit about some of the things that could affect their overall retirement that has changed since the last time they talked to their advisor.
And if they want to call you, what's the number?
It's toll-free 833-814-0115. Now, I have a toll-free number because somebody might be, somewhere in the country where they're not using their cell phone, but most people, I have a toll-free number just for convenience, but you could call me on my from your cell phone. You can call that number and it's still toll-free. The other way is a lot of people are too busy today to pick up the phone and call. So, they can email me at dougfair1@msn.com. But Al, the second part of that was interest rates.
Right.
No one thought that they were going to be retired at historically low interest rates. Now, again, we just talked about the Jimmy Carter era where, hey, you could go down to the bank and you were, oh my gosh, you were happy if you could go down to the bank and get 13% on your money.
Yeah, right.
But unfortunately, your mortgage was 14. But
so
today, it's working the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, money's cheap.
Right.
I've heard some people are getting 2.65% of their mortgage today.
Yeah, we just went there.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah.
And but the other thing is this: the banks are paying you 0.013 on your money.
Yeah. So.
And for every dollar you have in the bank, they have the ability to make 5.
I don't carry much savings, dead savings. That's what I call it. It's vacation funds.
Yeah.
Don't get excited about it.
Yeah.
And so interest rates are very key to understand for a successful retirement. I talk about interest rates at all my workshops. I talk about interest rates for a long time. We've talked about it on this radio show, but I tell people the importance of that. I mean, if you even look at the fact that you're getting 1% on your money, I mean, that today, there's a lot of people that are pretty tickled.
Hmm.
But what happens with these banks is they reel you in. They'll give you 1% for 90 days.
Right.
And of course, when you're sitting there talking to them, you kind of forget that. And then after 90 days, it's down to point 0.2.
0.5. Yeah.
But the third part of what runs the market, earnings, interest rates, is the psychology. And to wrap up the show today, Al, we wanted to honor all the people that are out there serving.
Right.
We wanted to share some stories about 9/11. You and I we haven't known each other for a long time, but I will tell you that, we genuinely care about this country.
Sure.
I mean, we don't get up on every other Saturday morning, Al, just to come to this radio show and to talk about division
Right.
and to talk about strife. We come to this radio show, we get up and we work hard because we care about this country.
Right.
And we hope we can make the difference in at least somebody's life.
Yep.
And so that's what I wanted to leave with this radio show is those were some really, really fantastic stories. And I just feel like we need to move forward. Everyone needs to come together. Whatever your beliefs are, religious, political, just like my friend put on there, we all need to come together as Americans. And this needs to be a reminder on 9/11 every year that we need to continually get better, not go backwards.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's my message. And I hope everybody has a nice day. I've been invited to go to a picnic, but I don't know if I'm going to do that. I'm going to, I haven't been to the beach in about 3 weeks. And I'd like to be able
to check it out.
Yeah. Time to get my Shubami up and
well, listen, we got like 2 minutes left. I want to just ask you a fun question.
Yeah.
God bless all those families, the 9/11 families that lost their loved ones. We love you. We think of you every year. I mean, if we can't do everything for everybody, but you can have our love. So, but one last fun question here. What would you do if you hit the lottery? What would your recommendation be if someone wins like $350 million? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Nobody ever does. It seems like it's.
Well, the first thing you have to do is, you have to look at your debt, and then you have to look at your emergency fund. And if you win $350 million, well, that's a crazy, that happens, not very often. But let's just say you win 10 million.
Yeah.
So, the first thing you have to do is be cognizant of your debt, your emergency fund. And then one of the things that you'd want to do, just like everyone else, is you want to start thinking about your income. And then and this is what's going to be a big part of our next show, is you want to start thinking about your estate planning.
There you go.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Al, because I didn't have time to talk about it today, but I've just signed on with a new organization. So we have proprietary software that's going to help people in the privacy of their own home set up their will and trust. And 80% of all trusts that are out there and established are not funded.
Yeah.
So we have a vault that is it's a wonderful thing. I've been working on this for about 3 weeks now, and so it's exciting. But again, the next part would be your estate plan, and then once you get your debt and your income and your estate plan set up, then it's time to maybe go out and buy a boat.
There you go.
If you win 10 million, 10 billion. Did you say billion or million?
No, million.
Yeah.
Yeah, million.
Well, Al, I hope you do that because I can't wait to go catch some fish on your boat.
Well, you'll be the first to know. Listen, thanks a lot for being here, and thanks for the show. It's a valuable piece of content for us. We'll be back on 9/25.
Uh-huh.
So maybe you can expand more about the estate planning side of things, and you'll have more exciting information. Remember, you can always reach Doug Fair, that's common spelling, the number 1 at msn.com, or go to his website, successfulseniorsusa.com.
Yep.
And
Thanks,
you can
Al.
find out everything about him. The guy's
That's
a great guy. He knows what he's talking about. And we're privileged to have him here. Thanks, Doug.
Okay. Have a good day.
We'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Successful Seniors Show. Please join us 2 weeks from today, Saturday at 9 a.m. right here on Talk One Radio. For more information, go to successfulseniorsusa.com or contact Doug Fair at dougfair1@msn.com. Till next time, remember, it's all in the planning.